Yeah, man, I'm already laughing. The show hasn't even started, and I'm laughing, Tony, because I'm just just kind of catching up on the comments line here. I don't know. Is Rags in Washington Square Park in the Greenwich Village? I don't know what's going on. I think Rags is wandering the streets of New York City.
Nice.
I'm trying to figure this out, trying to pick up the pieces. But anyway, good afternoon, good day to all of y'all. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I'm in a great mood today. I had a really fun weekend, and I'll get into that in great detail today. It's funny, Tony. We used to talk on the Murph and Mac show about some of our funniest moments would happen off the air, like during commercial breaks. That just happened right now with Tony. Right before we went live, Tony just dropped something on me that made me basically lose control. I mean, I had no control of myself because it was very, very funny. And I told you, Tony, punt that forward because I want that in the show today. What you said really made me laugh. I'm still laughing thinking about it. How you doing today, Big T?
I'm good, dude. You mentioned a couple things that we can tease. You mentioned things that you used to do on the Murph and Mac show. Well, that's great because it's a Murph and Mac Monday, and Murph will be joining us in about 15 minutes. So stand by for that. We want to talk some Deebo with Murph. And you mentioned what I made you laugh about. That is a tease because it is number 3 of today's Tony's top 3.
Oh, okay.
It's in that discussion. So
I see. Well, Tony, I look forward to your top 3. And by the way, speaking of Murph and Mac, it's just another Murph and Mac Monday. Murph will be joining us actually.
Yeah. I already said that. 11:15.
What was that?
I just said that.
What were you doing there? What was it? Ooh, what was that low end rumble thing?
I was doing the Bengals. Oh, I wish it was Sunday.
Okay. All right. Lower register.
Okay. You gotta get the You get the
also whatever you want to do is fine with me, Tony. You got free reign to run wild on this show. And then
for the love of Christ, Patty from Napa. Jeez, Patty, thank you, man. Getting the week off started with a bang. Patty, you're super. And she technically is a super. Thank you for contributing to the show, Patty.
We love Patty. Love you. She's a queen of the scene. And let me ask you a quick question, Tony. And that goes right into the Polymac Particle Piggy Bank, which services the show. So thank you for that, Patty. Tony,
Absolutely.
Question. What about, do we have access to the KMBR jukebox? I don't know. Honestly, we haven't really talked about this. So let's address it on the air. She's asking for the Deebo song. I don't know if we're even allowed to play that. I don't know.
We're not allowed to play it on this show because it uses copyrighted material.
I understand.
We could break out in song. We could basically break out our guitars and play the song.
I see.
Or we could contact the powers that be at our former employer. And ask for certain files. I have certain files, but we can't launch them anywhere because of copyright issues. That's basically the deal.
Okay, couple quick things. I want to address my friend Rags, who I've known since I was 12 years old. Rags, you're at NYU. Here's what you need to do. Get over to Bleecker Street and go to John's on Bleecker. Go get yourself some pizza as soon as possible, and then send me a picture because my mouth is watering thinking about it. And your son should go to NYU. NYU is a great school. Shout out Spike Lee. That's where he went.
It's a big communications school, man. That's big for media and communications.
Yeah,
go NYU.
Tell your kid to go to NYU, and then we'll hire his ass as like a producer on the Polymac Particle show as soon as he gets his diploma. Hey, Tony, real quick.
What about internships? Can we start an internship while his son is at NYU?
Yeah, I'm open to that. You want the kid to be an intern? He's an intern, right? He's gonna make you call it, whatever you want to do. Tony, you mentioned you were teasing. You said the word tease multiple times. You're like, I want to tease this, I want to tease that, tease everything. Well, let me tease you now because if you're going to talk tease, I got to shout out Motley Crue teaser. Tony, she's a teaser and she's got no heart at all. I'm just throwing it out there. She's a teaser and she got no heart at all. By the way, you know what I really want to do, Tony? I want you and me and specific selected members of the Polymac Particle community to go see, not Motley Crue, not Motley. I'm talking about, I want to go see like the Vince Neil band when he plays like one of those casinos in Roanoke Park, like stuff like that. Because, dude, I want to see who's showing up to those gigs. I want to see, like, and Vince he's a little out of shape now, Tony. You know what I mean?
Like, I was going to ask you, who is more out of shape right now, Vince Neil or Deebo? Which one?
I like that.
Who's got a bigger boiler right now, Deebo or Vince Neil?
Incredibly, it might be Deebo. It actually might be Deebo Samuel.
Anyways, and plus we saw Motley Crue years ago, and it was like Vince Neil was doing like half of the notes that he would sing because he just can't. And it's a shout out actually to his former self And like how Robert Plant can't hit the same vocals that he used to, and David Lee Roth can't hit the same vocals they used to, because what they were doing back in the 80s was so legendary and out of control, what they did with their vocals. So like the fact that they're like, oh, I can't hold those notes anywhere nearly as long as I used to do it, or at the register, the same, the same pitch. So,
hey, Tony, speaking of legendary, some quick shout out and comments and plugs for our friends at Longbridge Pizza. What a time I had on Saturday night at Longbridge Pizza.
Absolutely.
Throw up the info, Tony, so I can start talking about the greatness of Longbridge Pizza, 3rd Street, San Francisco. Get your asses down there, 2347 3rd Street. Tony, here's the scenario. I stopped by Longbridge on Saturday night before the USF game. And by the way, what a disappointment that was, bro. Big disappointment from the USF Dons after we were beating the drums all week. Come on, Dons, come on.
I know.
Great turnout, a lot of fan support. I was there. I saw, and by the way, Tony, so here's the thing. We'll talk USF in a minute. The WCC tournament will be underway, and we'll talk about how the Dons
starts Thursday.
Yeah, and how that affects.
They're the 3 seed. So
it would have been nice to be that 2 seed, though. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. It would have been, but it was the same thing that we talked to Coach about. They can't contend with Gonzaga in the paint. They just can't. Gonzaga has their way with the USF once they get down low in the paint. So it was tough. It was a tough night. But what precluded that was or preceded that rather, was the get together at Longbridge Pizza. I mentioned on Friday, I'm like, I'm going to try to stop by there before the game, but I really didn't know if I could, because I had friends I was trying to meet up with, and I did. So we got over to Longbridge, and first of all, shout out John Joseph. Okay, Tony, the 5-star Hall of Fame PMP listener that is John Joseph. Dude, he was on the scene looking good, sprinkling good vibes and good particles all over the place. Also, Tony, shout out to a listener. I don't know if I've seen him on the comments line before, but shout out to our listener, John. Not John Joseph. This is another John. John with the USF pullover, dude, okay? John with the USF pullover in the De La Salle ties.
Is it Jon like John Bon Jovi spells it? Is it Jon like John Bon?
I'm not sure. John Bond, dude. I'm not sure. I would prefer him to use the H if he was asking me. I would say go ahead and throw the H in there. You don't want to be too lined up with John Bond on those matters, spelling matters.
That's like you using the H when Jesus H Christ, when you're just like Jesus H.
I always wondered as a kid, like, what does that stand for? Harold, or like, Henry?
I think holy. I think holy. I think it was the H for holy.
I'd prefer Henry if I could. Jesus Henry Christ, or Harold. Yeah, Hank. Yeah, Jesus Hank Christ. Shout out Hank from Long Beach.
Jesus
all right. Anyway.
H.
Tony, I've been known to drop that one myself. Jesus H. Or how about for the love of Pete? For the love of Pete. Who's Pete?
I know.
I mean, which
and
Pete
then
we
you got
talking
for
about?
Pete's sake as well. For Pete's sake.
For Pete's sake. For the love of Pete. Pete's getting a lot of run out there on the streets. Tony, back to Longbridge. So here's what we did this night. We split the Caesar salad. Neil Denardi, again, I'm singing his praises. This guy makes you feel like family. He really did. And it was a busy night. It was a busy night at Longbridge, but Neil was kind of bouncing around from table to table, making sure everybody had what they needed. So Neil was awesome. And Tony, I had the half cheese, half sausage, like a gentleman, right down the middle. Give me half.
Is that going to be the Polymac or the Poly Particle Pie?
Well, I believe the Polymac Particle Pie, which they're working on right now, I'm dead serious. That will be available for our opening day broadcast. I think that's going to have some onion on it too, Tony. We'll have the sausage onion combo. Yeah, why not? Good. Sure. Flavor it up a little bit. A lot of flavor in the onion. So I look forward to that on March 27th.
Dude, that reminds me real quick, total diversion real quick. When I worked at the deli in Tahoe, shout out Rubicon Deli in the Tahoma market on the West Shore of Tahoe, I was the guy in the back slicing up all the veggies and the meats and everything. And when I did onions, I had to wear ski goggles when I sliced the onions.
It's not a bad idea.
Otherwise, I was a crying mess.
You want to hear a funny story? Funny story about crying. This is a true story. When I was a little kid, my Italian grandmother. This is my father's mother. I'll never forget this. I was at my grandma's house in Queens in New York. I was a little tiny kid, and she was getting dinner ready, and she was chopping onions, and she was telling me, I was like 6 years old. She was like, "Don't come too close to this because onions make you cry." And at that time, I was going through a big. Every word of this is true. I have pictures to prove it. Tony, I was going through a big Lone Ranger phase, okay, when I was like 16.
Nice,
so there's a picture of me, bro, with a cowboy hat on and a Lone Ranger man. And here's what I said to my grandma. She used to break my balls about this for years after I dropped this. She goes, "Paul, don't get too close while I chop these onions because the aroma is so strong, it might make your eyes water. You could wind up crying." And this is what I said to her. I go, "Grandma, the Lone Ranger never cries." I actually said that to her.
Nice,
and so
nice.
then I walked over, and of course, bam, I start crying. The aroma's so pungent. But anyway, the Lone Ranger never cries, Tony.
The Lone Ranger does never cry, but I also want to update. Leah was asking if they have gluten-free pizza at Longbridge Pizza because she was asking for March 27th for our season opener party. And then Neil Denaldi responded on the comment line saying, yes, they do have gluten-free pizza for those that are wondering.
Here's what's so funny about that question, Leah. Here's what's so funny. You and I must be locked in on some kind of telepathic wavelength of particle greatness. And by the way, I think Hank is checking in as well as a super today. So we'll get to him in a second. So I was there with my friend Brian Connor. Shout out BC, the one and only, the great BC. And then right next to BC and myself, here comes David Drutz and his beautiful wife, Kim. Now I got Drutzy, I got Kim, I got BC. We're all hanging out. Now, Drutzy's daughter, she cannot eat gluten. She's one of these kids. She's like allergic to gluten, whatever. So they had a long conversation with Neil about gluten-free choices on the menu. Fantastic. So, Leah, the answer is yes. Your gluten sensitivity will be addressed.
But it all goes part of the Vibe Tribe, dude. That's Neil with the Vibe Tribe and the Longbridge Pizza Vibe Tribe. And I'm going to, speaking of the Vibe Tribe, Sons of Johnny the Master, sorry the Dons cost you money, dude. I hear that. I thought we got the vibe going strong with Coach Gerlifson on Friday. And it obviously wasn't enough, man. But maybe the Dons make a run. Maybe the Dons took notes in those two games, those two losses at Gonzaga, and the Dons meet the Zags in the WCC championship, and they upset the world and beat the Zags in the WCC championship. That's
I like you talking about upsetting the world. Why not? Let's shock the world. Let's shock the people. That's what Tupac Shakur said. Let's shock the people.
And look at this. Look at this. Sons of Johnny the Master. A little bit of foreshadowing into Tony's top three later because he says Lynch needs to trade Brandon Ayuk right now. That's going to be a topic of discussion with Brian Murphy in about 5 minutes. And it's a topic of discussion in Tony's top three.
Okay, excellent, Tony. Thank you for that. And thank you, Sons. You're the man. We love you, man. And we'll see you soon. We'll see you on 327, which, by the way, now is just about 3 weeks away. Can't wait.
Oh, can't wait. Let's go.
Again, final word on Longbridge for now. LongbridgePizza.com. Please check out the menu. And please, you got to just trust me on this. Again, I'm asking you for your trust. We're building a community, and it's got to be based on trust. And I'm telling you the truth, too. No, Tony, a couple things I wouldn't mess with. I wouldn't send people in the wrong direction musically. Like if I'm talking about a record I love or something, I'm doing that because I want to turn you guys on. And maybe you'll hear something you've never heard before, and then your day's improved. Same goes for pizza. Dude, I take pizza very, very seriously. I would not steer you the wrong way when it comes to pizza with my name attached to it. So you can trust me. Longbridge Pizza is legit. It's the real deal. And Neil is going to take great care of you. So get on down to Longbridge Pizza and get the delivery. And I got to say, final thing, Tony, the neighborhood dog patch. Hopping and popping and bopping on Saturday night, dude. I started getting a little envious. Like I had like some city envy. I was like, damn, this is when I miss San Francisco. Cause like, that's a neighborhood in the city I hadn't hung out in a lot when I was living there because there wasn't much going on in dog patch like when I was living in the city. Now it's like it's a real growing kind of neighborhood, kind of at the foot of Potrero Hill. And it was just Tony. There was just a great vibe in the air Saturday night.
Dog patch is an underrated neighborhood. That's my grandmother was born in the dog patch.
Is that right?
And yeah. And when I lived in Potrero Hill, I spent some time in the dog patch, and it's a great hood. And you can do a great bar crawl, by the way, in the dog patch if you want to get involved.
You're not kidding. I saw a bunch of really nice looking pubs around there. Yeah.
And Paulie's a big fan on getting on the Lime scooters too, so you can just cruise the neighborhood in the dog patch on the Lime scooters and go Longbridge and then a lot of establishments nearby.
Tony's not lying. That's what I tell people usually. If you're looking for me, you can't find me. That means I'm probably on a scooter and I can't take your call. That's complete BS. I would never get on a scooter, even if you held me at gunpoint and said, "Paulie,
I'm getting you on a scooter. I'm getting you on a scooter."
No, you're not. No,
that's my goal for 2025. One of my goals is to get you on a scooter.
Murph and I used to have this kind of rule of thumb about stuff like this. Like I find scooters highly objectionable. I mean, they're stacking them up, and you're Mr. like save the planet, Mr. Evergreen. Oh, they're polluting the oceans. Dude, you find a pile of scooters on the corner. Is that appealing to you on some level? Because guys just drive them and they throw them on the ground and walk away. I'm like, clean this shit up.
It's unfortunate. That's unfortunate, buddy.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. Yeah.
Well, come on, but you don't want to jump on one of these bad boys? Come on, look at this right here.
I don't even want to see this. I don't know where you're going, but I don't want to see it.
Right there.
Get the, you know what, dude? I tell you what, how about I kick one of them? We get the domino effect. We just knock them all over. That's more appealing to me. Brian Murphy and I used to say, we would talk about the scooter craze going on in town. And we would say, like this was our rule of thumb. Would Don Draper ride a fucking scooter to a meeting? The answer is no. No, and so if Draper ain't doing it, I ain't doing it. That's as simple as
I'll
that.
tell you
Tony.
what, though, man, to get cross town, through San Francisco, I've done it multiple times where I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to jump on one of these things instead of trying to hail a. By the way, the old days of hailing a cab, I miss those days. I'm sounding like an old guy, get off my lawn guy, but I miss those days of just hailing a cab. Just getting a cab, but now it's the Uber and the Lyft, whatever. But I just let you jump on because I like to choose my own route, dude. Nothing worse than being on an Uber and they don't know where the fuck they're going. They don't know where they're going. They're not even, that's what the best thing about it.
I hate that
drivers.
Me too.
Cab drivers knew where to go.
That's why I take cab
streets. They knew the back streets. They knew the shortest way. So now on the Lime scooter, I have control of my situation. I have control of my destination. I can get there the quickest. I can go back streets. I can go the wrong way down a one way if I want on a Lime scooter.
Do whatever you want, Tony. It's a free country. By the way, shout out Bruce Springsteen back streets, hiding on the back streets. I've been hiding on the back streets for years, Tony. I've been hiding on the back streets since I was 16. I'll tell you one other thing about your scooter little infatuation. This is true. Creative Tony is rivaled only by Brian Murphy. In fact, I could pit these two against each other for like a piranha a fish fight. Tony and Murph are the most knowledgeable Bay Area centric geography of two other guys I've ever met. You guys are at the top of the hill. So Tony knows every back road, every alley. He'll have me going down streets I've never heard of when we're driving around together. And I give you respect. Bro, my hat's off for respect. We did it the other day. You're like, there's the Philosophers Club. We're driving around that neighborhood. It was a beautiful
West Portal.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, by the way, do you have your trumpet nearby? I want you to blast some trumpet. Can you get the trumpet going? I have Murph in the on deck circle. And
let me do the old Murph and Mac guest intro music. I'll do a recreation, if I may, which I pulled from the soundtrack of the Jane. Ready for this poll? I pulled this one from the soundtrack of the Jane Fonda sci-fi flick called Barbarella. So here we go. Thank you very much. Thank you.
There it is.
Very much. Yeah, there he is. Look at my guy. Look at my freaking guy.
Yeah, Murph,
fired up today.
You look really good today, bud.
I did. I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't feeling. You guys are making me feel good. You're making me feel good.
Check it out, Murph. You know what the key is? I've learned all this now in this whole new YouTube landscape. You got to have all these dude, you're backlit. It's very powerful. You're backlit now. See, you got the backlighting going. It makes you look very prestigious. Yes.
I'm also one gray-haired mother-father, bro.
You wear it well.
Listen, you know what I mean? We're all going to the same place. We're all going to the same cemetery.
Not you, buddy. Not you. The rich, illustrious Auburn locks of a Paul Mac.
Auburn. You said Auburn.
Shout out Auburn. Shout out Pecan. If you're talking Auburn, you got to shout out Pecan.
And Murph, at least you still got the locks, dude. You know?
By the way, Patty's just paying. I feel like I'm a gigolo. I show up, Patty pays.
Oh, man.
Look at
just
that.
A gigolo.
No, the free Murph thing it's out of my hands, Murph. I'm not even involved in this movement, but there's a whole movement on the streets now.
Well,
the free Murph movement.
It's not free because they're paying. So
well, these are our supers. These are our real dedicated and favorite viewers. I can't even say listeners anymore, Murph. I got to say viewers.
Oh, Paulie, can I tell Murph something about what's happening?
Tell him anything you want. Tell him whatever you want.
Murph, the season opener, not the home opener, but the season opener for Giants baseball. We will be gathering at Longbridge Pizza. We're having our first Paulie Mac Particles hang.
You mean a TV watch party?
Yeah,
it's a watch party. Yes,
it's a watch party at Longbridge for Giants Reds. First pitch. First pitch at Cincy 110. So
I gotta be honest. If
So,
Murph walks in that door, though, bro, there could be a full-scale riot. There really could. There could be a full-scale riot, dude, if you walk in that door.
I'm going to be honest. I mean, you guys know I would be there, but 110, bro, that is primo nap time. That's problem for me. That's a problem for me, even watching the game itself. But we'll sort it out.
Well, you know what it is? It was an invitation extended by a guy who hasn't been getting up at 4 a.m. for the last 20 years. He doesn't understand. It's okay. I learned that over the years, Murph. Nobody is sympathetic to the plight of the morning show guy because nobody gets it. They think it's all fun and games. Yeah, no, there's the evidence, right? No, exactly. It takes a toll. So Murph has got limited time today, so we're going up tempo.
Yeah.
I want to start today, Murph. First of all, thanks for coming on, bro. Thanks for giving us a couple minutes. I know you got a lot going on, but we love you. The audience loves you, and there's something about
Murph. I want to emphasize to you more than you want to know going on. All right, buddy, more than you want to know.
You know what I'm saying, dude? No,
what did we call it last time? What was the last visit?
Off-field issues. Yeah.
Off field.
Again, I sympathize. I really do. I said when it comes to off the field, I can keep you busy for a couple of days with all my shit. But I will say this, Murph, I want to talk a little bit of Deebo. I want to talk a little bit of Ayuk, a little bit of Warriors. But first, I got to go to Murph because I miss talking about the Academy Awards with you, man. We used to do that every year, have a good time. I got to start. My favorite part of the whole night, Sir Mick Jagger come bouncing out on stage out of nowhere. All of a sudden, here's Jagger. Okay, so he's like, they talked to Bob. Bob didn't want to do it. I said, okay, I'll do it. I didn't want to do it, but I'll do it. But you know what's cool, Murph, is that the entire room stood up. Standing ovation for Jagger. That was awesome.
I'm embarrassed to say, okay, so I did not catch start to finish. I caught the last because of all the off-field issues, brother. All the off-field issues. So I caught the last.
You almost came right out, too.
So they do the double viewing where you watch and then you break and then you watch it again. The live and tape here. Yeah, so I caught the last half hour when frickin' that chick named Mikey won, and then Honora won. Then I re-upped and caught the first hour and a half. So I must have missed that smidge of window.
Oh, okay.
Where Serpent showed up. So that's my bad. That's on me. My bad.
By the way, guys, sorry to interrupt. We have another super, and when the supers come to the show, we got to put them right up to the forefront.
You guys got to do like a bell bar ring, like when they tip the bartender.
That's a good call. That's a good call. Tony, make a note and get on.
I know. I'm making a note right now.
Dude, Murph comes in. He's already making contributions to the show. He can't help it. That's what he does.
I guys love it, dude. Yeah. Okay. Quick digression. So Unfortunately, I apologize for missing Mick. Two comments. Number one. Sirius XM 80s on 8 this week was top 40 March 85, coming in at number 34. Coming in number 34 was the highly debatable Mick Just Another Night single, solo single,
horrible.
in which Mark Goodman introduced the record by saying that while he had Jeff Beck working for him and a guy named Rabid who played synth for the Who,
don't matter. No, it's all shit. It's shit.
He said, Goodman said that the song was not well received by his bandmates. In fact, Keith Richards in his book Life described Mick's solo record as Hitler's book Mein Kampf, in that everybody owns a copy, but nobody listens to it.
Dude, Richards for life. See what I'm saying about Mick? Here's the other thing. Murph, you'll love this one, too. Mick released a couple of solo albums. They're both horrible. And then when he did his last one in the, I think it was in the late 90s, he did a solo record called Goddess in the Doorway. And then they go to Keith and they go, hey, Keith, what do you think of Mick's new record? And he goes, Goddess in the Doorway. And then Keith goes, well, I call it dog shit in the doorway. Dude, dog shit in the doorway.
Well, words, right? 2 words. Shit sandwich, right? You can't say that. You can't say that.
Really? Oh, that's great. Hey, by the way, dude, they also screwed the Mill Valley girl,
Monica Barbaro. Yeah,
Monica Barbaro, who is Tam High's
So listen, what I'm going to say about it is, let's be honest. By the time they're rolling out that best picture, listen, I'm not telling you it's a bad flick. Maybe it's a good flick. I don't know. Maybe it's good. I'm here to tell you that it made 0.0 cultural impact on any of us or any societal thing. I described last night's Oscars as like a combination of the Chris Cohan Thunder era Warriors.
Nice.
The last 3 years of Farhan Zaidi Giants baseball, dude. Just freaking faceless, meaningless.
Murph, maybe with a touch of Dennis Erickson 49ers for dessert. You know what I mean?
What are we doing? I mean, listen.
That's like rock bottom.
I bet if I watched the movie Anora, I'd be like, it's a good flick. But dude, the cultural impacts that we would ever freaking experience as a culture are just gone, just poof, gone. The only one that actually did that was a complete unknown, but they didn't want to do anything about it.
By the way, another super from Mike. Same Mike as before, but Mike has gone again back to the well, and he says, Murph Mac, you got options. Don't let anybody ever think you have options.
You got
friends. Yeah. So there you go.
Hey, listen,
Mike,
they're saying all the things.
For the super dude. Thank you very much, bud.
Yeah, Mike Racino. Oh, they're saying all the things I don't want to say because it just wouldn't be cool if I was saying it. But I'm happy when you guys are saying it. You can try to reel in Murph as much as you want. You got my full support on that. So anyway, Murph, the Academy Awards were a huge letdown. It was a dull show. I got to be honest. The whole show was dull. That's why I'm not really overstating it when I say Mick Jagger's appearance was the best part of the whole night. And he was really funny. It was quick, but it was funny. He presented for the best original
song.
Sandler.
Listen.
What are you going to do?
I'm a supporter of Conan, but it was a weird fit. And
hey, last thing, dude. Last thing. Since when did they decide this guy Bowen Yang from SNL has become like the new? What the hell's going? The guy's in the front row at the Academy Awards. He's never made me laugh.
That's it.
The guy's never made me laugh. Not even once have I chuckled during a Bowen Yang. Yeah.
In the front row. I mean, that's Farhan Zaidi making a transaction. You know what I mean?
Yeah, all right. So from that to this, because we are watching the clock for Murph today. We're very sensitive.
Yeah,
we're gonna let you go.
Sorry,
no, it's all good.
No,
Murph.
Deebo's the off-field stuff. What can I say?
Go ahead. Murph, Deebo Samuel. We haven't really
rapid fire. Let's go.
Deebo Samuel. As far as I'm concerned, bye-bye, dude. Bye-bye, tough guy. You hate being a Niner. You want to go ahead. Go crazy. So I'm fine with it, dude. I'll take the 5th round pick. I didn't like anything I saw from him last year.
Well,
Murph, give me something.
That's a harsh take. It's a hard line. It's a hard line.
That's how I'm feeling. I've had it with him. I've had it.
It's funny because I kind of wanted to make sure that, like, well, I feel you. I think it's the right business decision on both a statistical level, an economic level, chronological level. All a remaking of the roster level. All that said, I was kind of writing it all down, and like, from 2019 to 2024, I know they didn't get a bowl, and in fact they lost 2. But if you go back to 1946 to now, this last 5-year run is on the short list of more excellent runs in franchise history. So I wanted to give him at least. I know you're giving him this. I'm giving him more of a this because he was a face of a very excellent. He was one of the faces of a very excellent run. In 2019, he was a rookie. They went to the bowl. In 2021, he was first team All-Pro. Rewrote. It's almost like I kind of like want to say like they should have won a damn bowl.
Right.
You know what I mean? Tell me about it. Yeah.
So, but now that the Deebo window has come and gone, and they paid Ayuk, but even now they're talking about possibly trading Ayuk. But the point is I just kind of wanted to like make sure, like, we looked at it's only like Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner, Nick Bosa, George Kittle, Kyle Juszczyk, and Deebo are the only guys who kind of were on all of those teams.
That's right.
And you make an argument that Deebo, whether it was his name, which really helped his Q rating, or the boombox, all that, or just how staggeringly physical he was a thing for a while, man. One of your best ever songs was
the Boss Gags tribute for sure. Deebo, whoa. Hey, but by the way, Tony and I talked about this a lot last week, Murph. One thing that really I thought was evident to just the untrained eye is that where Deebo used to break the first 1 or 2 or sometimes 3 tackles after a reception, last year he would make the reception and get tackled immediately. Like he wasn't able to break loose like he used to. He lost that explosiveness. And then I felt after he ran his mouth a little bit and said, I'm not involved in the offense, and he dropped that pass so Brock hit him in the numbers. Then I felt like then he started playing. Like we saw him play in Buffalo. He turned it on a little bit that night. And I kind of resented that. I'm like, well, where was this for the first 10 weeks of the season? Like, where was Deebo Samuel?
In fact, Matt Barrows just dropped a good story in The Athletic saying there were sporadic uprisings, but they just were not consistent. And dude, Barrows just called it out. I could tell when I could tell maybe Barrows was some people behind the scenes were probably, but they said the weight was a real problem.
Unavoidable. Yeah.
It's sensitive for all of us who like to eat. You know what I mean?
For all of us. Yeah.
Murph, but we all have kids, and so he just had a kid. I'm just wondering if he just was spending more time with the kid and not exercising. And
he got paid. He got his 3 years, $71 million. I mean, dude, not everybody.
Yeah.
Dude, you get paid.
And I got to give love to Mitch Cumstein, by the way. Thanks for the super, Mitch Cumstein.
Ding, ding, ding.
Mitch Cumstein, dude. Mitch Cumstein. Hey, Tony, we got to get an effect. Murph's 100% correct on that.
We got the note.
Kind of indicator.
SFX down. But Murph, it was like almost like the point of no return for me with the Jake Moody thing for me. Was like because he took the vibe of the team and just destroyed it. In my opinion,
I think Paulie alluded to the drop against the Rams, but that they beat the Bears for like their only win in a while, and the next day he tweeted out, "I'm not getting the touches," and we're like, "Bro, what's going on here?" So he has, listen, this has been a year in the making from the moment they drafted Ricky Pearsall.
Yep.
The moment they wound up not trading Ayuk and signing Ayuk, we knew it was, and then we all kind of forgot about it for a while. We said, let's go try to win some games. And then it just kind of ended sourly. I mean, this is what happens. I mean, Bill Walsh, get rid of him a year too early rather than a year too late. But I do want to say, like, I know it was a little salty at the end, sort of like Pablo Sandoval, just like Sandoval.
Yeah.
Deebo's the kind of guy, when he returns to Levi Stadium in 10 years, should get a warm reception.
Yes, he will. Of course. And you're right. Everything you said is spot on, Murph. I mean, he had a massive impact on the teams in his first few seasons of his career. It was only last year where I felt there was a pretty noticeable drop off and the attitude wasn't great.
And he plays a physical style.
Yeah.
So I mean, sort of inevitable. Like I said, they led 2 Super Bowls in the fourth.
I know, dude. Bro, I know. I hate being the new Buffalo Bills of the NFL. I hate it. It's really a bummer. Hey, Murph, we got to let Murph wrap it up soon. So, Murph, real quick, I want to ask you, should they keep Ayuk or entertain the idea of moving him as well?
That's a toughie, man.
Because I like Ayuk, but we don't know what he's going to have left after that.
First of all, right now, what team is going to take a rehabbing Ayuk with that contract? Like, so you're probably not going to get a very good value in return.
Yeah.
But, so I would say that I would stick with him, because right now, you sort of have the way the wide receiver room is set. If you get rid of him, then you're really stripping it down. I mean, I love Juwan Jennings. Ricky Pearsall's nice, but still unproven. Jacob County, who the hell knows?
Right.
So you'd have to, obviously, they got the free agency coming up, and they have 11 draft picks, so they might be able to remake it for sure. But I don't know if you could get a good value right now with him coming off the injury and on that contract. So it's up there, though, man. But the whole thing is up against Branch wrote about this in the Chronicle today, about these Lynch comments, man. He used phrases like, we got to recalibrate. We got to not press the gas pedal so hard. Dude, are we dialing it back right here?
Well, that's a good question. Good question.
Are we going Greg Johnson Giants? Like, Buster, you get one toy and that's it, dude?
You know what, dude? You know what, Murph? I'm glad you mentioned that. So on the last thing for Murph today, and we got to let him go because he's got this big thing he's got to tackle today. So, Murph, do me a favor. Grade the Giants off-season in like ABCD. Like, how would you grade the offseason?
I mean, Adamas is a gigantic piece. So you got to give them at least – I give them a B, because they addressed their biggest need with an excellent player and an excellent clubhouse side against the league. Just, I'm greedy. I want more. I wanted more. I wanted first base remains this huge question. Yeah. We got anointed Bryce Eldridge, and now he struck out like 50 straight times.
It's going to happen. Yeah.
So it's like – So I give it. I mean, Verlander is just a stopgap. It's a 1-year thing. It's kind of fun. It's kind of cool and all that.
Shout out Randy Johnson as a Giant. You know what I mean?
I have to give that. I'm upset about it. I wish they had done more. I wanted more action, more activity. I wanted some trades. I guess they've been trying to make trades. Running Yaz back and right is kind of like, oh God, dude, what? Seriously?
I know.
And Fitz is a question mark at second base. I mean, that's a question mark, bro. Any way you slice it, But Adames was just such a gigantic piece. I mean, I'd give them like a C minus, but Adames gets them up to a B, because it's a gigantic piece. And think about it. Like, they're basically running the same team back, just they added Willie Adames. So they'll be better. They'll be better. But I wanted more. I've been a little disappointed in general. But, hey, man, we'll just carry on that conversation for the next one.
Hey, nice. Murph, mentioned gigantic pieces on the way out. Deebo put on like 20 plus. Like, what do you think was go to? Like ding dong, ho ho,
ding dong.
Like his, maybe the Hostess cupcake.
Is it peanut butter? Is it peanut butter?
Dude, maybe it's peanut butter. Maybe just I go through a jar of peanut butter a week.
Is
so
is it ice? Is it late night ice cream?
Could be. It's might be a box of it's. Nobody's looking. Boom. Yeah.
Is it fries? Is it something like that? By the way, whoever do I know, Darren? My year is made. He called me the David Brenner of PMP. My year is made.
That's as far as I'm concerned, that's a compliment of the highest order, man. Yeah. All right, Murph, I'm going to let you go. We love you, buddy. We'll see you very soon. God love you.
Yeah, Murph.
And, you just keep doing Murph things, and we'll connect soon, my brother.
We'll all take care of our off-the-field issues, boys.
Right. Yes. See you later, Murph. Rock and roll, man. Love that guy.
Brother.
That's Brian Murphy. You know him. You love him. And anytime we can get him
another Muffin Mac Monday.
I wish it was Sunday. By the way, shout out to the late Prince, who I believe, did he write that track, Manic Monday? Or am I wrong?
Actually, I think he did, because that's my fun day. I don't have to run day, right? Susanna Hoffs.
Well, shout out to the boys in Spinal Tap and their song about large booties called Big Bottom. He says, talk about mud flap. My girls got him. Big bottom.
Dude.
Big bottom. All right, Creative Tony.
Ooh,
Another
Paulie, just fun fact, just because you brought it up. Manic Monday is a song by the Bangles, but Prince wrote it in 1984, and it was originally intended for the group Apollonia 6.
Ooh.
How about that?
Apollonia 6. You know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you the truth. At the time Purple Rain came out, Tony, like the ladies of Prince, right? Such an extensive conversation. But there was a Vanity. He had that girl Vanity, and then he had Apollonia. Now, I got to be honest. I was always more of an Apollonia fan. Like,
me too. Me too.
Yeah. And by the way, so
Vanity. Yeah, I mean,
if you ever
Prince was doing his thing. Is one.
Here's a funny Clash of the Rock Stars. I can tell you this quick story. If you ever read the Motley Crue book called The Dirt, I highly recommend you read it. It's out of control.
Incredible.
Dude.
It's incredible.
From the first page to the last.
You don't want to put it down. You won't want to put it down.
Now, I wouldn't recommend this book to somebody like Shannon Kaler with very delicate sensibilities. You got to understand the Sunset Strip in Hollywood in the 80s was a world that is so different from the world we live in today.
Yes.
That's about the best way I can say it in a broad stroke. But in that book, after Vanity broke up with Prince, Vanity started dating Nikki Sixx. So this is like the girls
That's
era.
Quite a change of heart.
There are people. I'll tell you the truth, Tony. There are people out there, men and women, who are just attracted to the whole rock star thing. Like, right, obviously. So it doesn't even matter what the genre. You could be Prince, you could be Nikki Sixx. As long as you're on a stage in front of a big audience, there's some kind of appeal there for a lot of people. So in any case, Vanity is dating Nikki Sixx, and in the book, they're like getting to know each other. They're doing like a lot of drugs together. It's like a really dark period in both of their lives. But I remember in the book, Tony, he was like sitting in his house with Vanity, and all of a sudden there's a flower delivery, and they were from Prince. And the note on the card said, "Dump that loser and get back with me." Dude. And then Nikki Sixx was like, "Dude, I'll kill Prince if I see him in a room. I'll just hit him with my bass. That'll be the end of Prince." So, I mean, I got to side with Nikki on that one. If you're talking about a square off of physical combat, Nikki Sixx is like 3 times the size of Prince. You know, who do you like in that one? Now, Prince can get him with a roundhouse kick with the spiked heel. You know,
I might go Prince because he's short and he's quick, and he might do like some, I don't know, coffee grinder kicks, like swooping across the floor and kind of like taking Nikki Sixx out of the ankles. You know what I mean?
Coffee grinder kicks. Yeah. I love it. I love the term. Can you execute one for us real quick? Can you show us?
No, I can't. But my daughter can.
Really? Could she?
She does a coffee grinder dance move. That's how I know about the term, the coffee grinders, because she did it in her dance class. Yeah. Hey, I was like, ooh, I like that. You could also do it like as like in Cobra Kai. They should incorporate that in Cobra Kai, where they do coffee grinders, swift kicks like along the base of the floor. Because, dude, at the end of the day, the low center of gravity is underrated. It's great for surfing and skateboarding and snowboarding, and also for scrapping. You know, it's good for scrapping.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of low center of gravity, you know when I learned that lesson? Because I am the opposite of that. I'm tall, I'm lanky, like my body's really long. And I tried to, dude, I've been fascinated with surfing for about the past 20 years. Honestly, I got into it like later in life. I just got really interested in surfing, and I love to go. I've done it with Tony. I've been out in Santa Cruz with Tony, just watching the surfers. Like, I love that. And I think those guys are amazing athletes. Like, the more I've learned about surfing and what it takes to just paddle out. I mean, that in itself, paddling out into the surf is
a workout.
Unbelievable upper body workout, right? But then Tony said, check it out, dude. On one of the Hawaii trips we had with Murph and Mac, we had all listeners out there, and I hope none of these people saw me because it would have been embarrassing as hell. But I tried my hand at paddle boarding. I'm like, you know what I'll do? Let me get on one of these damn paddle boards. I'll paddle around the lagoon and see what bro. I couldn't stand it. It was falling over every 5 seconds. So
you gotta have your balance, and you gotta find that sweet spot on the board for your balance. I have one of those paddle boards. Yeah.
Well, see, you're probably great at that. You're probably a great skater,
gravity,
great surfer. Like, my body's not built for that shit. I look like an asshole falling off the board every 5 seconds. My paddle's flying up in the air. It was a really embarrassing ordeal. I got to tell you that. And I never got back on one again. I said, that's it. God does not want Paulie Mac on a paddleboard. Point taken. I got it.
There's not many tall surfers out there, Paulie. There's not many tall. Look at like the Dogtown Z-Boy days and Powell Peralta days. All those skaters were short dudes, right? They were all short guys.
Who was your favorite guy of that crew again, Tony? You had like one guy, the Japanese guy.
I loved Christian Hosoi and Steve Caballero were my two. Caballero was like my ultimate favorite because he was my size. He was an incredible skater, and like I was a big Powell Peralta head back in the day, and it was, but Hosoi was a little bit. He wasn't that much taller, but Hosoi had the record for the biggest air.
When that whole like Bones Brigade thing happened, were you already dialed into the scene? Like, did you know who Tony Hawk was when that Bones Brigade video hit and stuff? See, I didn't. I got into it after. I got down the road. Yeah.
And I remember it was a big deal when all those skaters were in Police Academy 4, I want to say. The movie Police Academy 4, because they were just like skating in the scene. They got busted by the cops. Yeah. Yeah. It was a bunch of powerful, a bunch of those skaters. And that's when Tony Hawk kind of took off. I mean, Tony Hawk's career is fascinating because he basically just became a badass entrepreneur too. Like they have a video game for him now, you know, and he's incredible. But all those guys, and but it was tough living, man, because making your living on a half pipe is not, or if you're a street skater in those bowls and the swimming pools and stuff.
That's the Dogtown guys. They were the first guys to do that. Yeah. And you're right. They were very, very tough kids, that group of dudes. And you know what else is interesting about those Dogtown Z-Boy? I don't know if you know this, Tony, but you know how Jim Muir's brother was a singer in Suicidal Tendencies. So one of the Z-Boys, his brother is in Suicidal, but all those kids were all into the punk rock scene. So like when Black Flag played or Circle Jerks, all the Z-Boys would show up at the gigs and wreak havoc. Like seriously, they would wreak havoc. They would come up to San Francisco too to go to the Mabuhay Gardens and stuff. But anyway,
Bones
that's another
Brigade. Yeah, I mean, we could talk.
I know.
Do a whole episode on skating because I grew up on a skateboard, and
I know. And I'm fascinated with it too. I really am, man.
I know. I was trying to do a trick once, and I ran over my own fingers, and just shredded these 3 fingers. It was brutal.
I broke my foot. I broke my foot skateboarding as a kid in San Francisco in the 70s.
I believe it.
Yeah. It happened. And no helmet, no pads, nothing. Back then, dude, just get on the board and go. Like you didn't even think about wearing a helmet. Tony.
Hey, speaking of injuries and stuff like that, is Jimmy Butler? Do we know if Jimmy Butler is playing today? Because the Dubs lost on Saturday without Butler, and dude, that was not a good. I mean, like that was brutal. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That was a brutal loss, man, because Philly is just just an island of discontent. And then like the Dubs go in there.
Island of misfit toys, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then
shout out to Heat Miser, Tony. Shout out to Heat Miser. Go ahead. Yeah, my
fantastic.
Bad.
I was really stunned that the Warriors lost that game. And I mean, we can get into the top 3 if you want, Paulie, but
I have
not having Butler was big. Yeah,
I agree. And I want to jump in on this for a sec, T, real quick, if you don't mind. I want to plug, speaking of Philly and the Warriors, our very dear friend and colleague and associate Kate Scott will join us on Thursday this week. She's going to, I think, Tony, she'll be with us like right at the beginning of the show.
Sweet.
Like we start the show, bam, we're going to have Kate with us. So really looking forward to catching up with Kate Scott. That'll be a lot of fun.
Kate also ups the physical presentation of the show too by leaps and bounds instead of just looking at our mugs. So
meaning what? Oh, just because she's beautiful, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, there's no getting around that. Yeah, she is beautiful. And I just can't wait to talk to her. Number 2, back to your Butler thing. Yeah, it was kind of distressing, but at the same time, Tony, I don't want to overreact. I don't want to get too carried away.
No. And also, Patty, just for another super from Patty. Patty, thank you very much. By the way, anybody who's on Blue Sky, first of all, get to Blue Sky. Number 1, we're on there. Polymax Particles has an account on Blue Sky. Patty's on Blue Sky, and she's a really fun follow on Blue Sky. Blue Sky is basically the same. It's like Twitter, but without certain things. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes, thank you very much. With certain things, certain elements, and whatnot, what have you, Tony, and other unmentionables. Tony, back to the Jimmy Butler thing. Yes, I don't want to overreact too much. They have won 7 of their 9 games since Butler's come. I know he wasn't in the lineup. And to answer your original question, Tony, I don't know if he's playing tonight. It's an early game too, by the way. So if you're able to get to a TV, turn it on at 4:00. You got Warriors at Charlotte, and then tomorrow at MSG they'll play the Knicks. Oh, and by the way, you know what I'm going to do tomorrow after the Knicks game? I'm going to jump on Triple E's show, Tony.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. Triple E's got his own thing going now, so I'll do post game after the Knicks with the one and only Eric Engel tomorrow. Oh, there he is. He's in the house. What's up, Triple E? I'll see you tomorrow after the Knicks game.
Yeah, Triple E. And by the way, Paulie, the Dubs and Hornets today. Oh, Karen Bell. Let's get Karen Bell up here.
Hey, Karen Bell.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Wow, you supers. I mean, you're crushing it. Thank you all very, very much. Karen, thank you. Super sticker. Nice. Thanks for joining the show.
By the way, Karen, I like your glasses. I think are those red? They look cool. Whatever your glasses are, they look pretty cool to me from where I sit. Tony, finish your thoughts. Sorry I interrupted you. Go ahead.
It's okay. I'm fighting the good fight too. I need to get glasses.
Shout out Triumph. Fight the good fight. Are you with me on Triumph?
Am I with you on Triumph?
I'm just asking. Always. Fight the good fight. Yes,
dude.
Yeah.
By the way, Murph mentioned a specific type of spectacles that I need to revisit with him next time we talk to him, because he said he gets them on Amazon and they're not super expensive, but they're not like they last a while. So I got to get some glasses, some readers.
You know what? I want to compliment you today, Tony, if I may, just go off the script a little bit. We have no script, but if we did, I would go off the script. And I want to say that your pipes sound particularly deep and pleasing today. Like you got some extra like bass going on today. I don't know what's going on, Tony. Like you sound cool. I like the voice. Yeah.
I shared a pack of Marlboro Reds at my father-daughter dance on Saturday with some guys. So
got the S. No, you did you?
No, God, no. But the father. Well, I could mention the father-daughter dance later on. But I forgot what I was going to say. But I do want to say about the Warrior game is Quentin Post, dude, dropping 16 off the bench, or no, actually he started, didn't he? Didn't Post? He started. But 4 for 9 from 3-point land too.
Oh, Post! No, this kid. We got to do a song for him. Quentin Post is like one of the guys we got to do a new song for. Now, again, we're working on all this right now. We're gonna, in fact, we had big developments over the weekend. I'm talking to the audience now, Tony, for a second. Want to let everybody know that we're getting closer and closer to getting soundboards. Not one, ready for this, but 2. One for Tony, one from Moi. So pretty soon, Tony. Even this week, I want to do some shopping with you. Start pricing out, looking at some gear, because we're going to bring.
Guess what?
Yeah, totally. Guess what? We're bringing soundboards back, and hopefully within the next week or 2 at the most, we will be up and running with our new soundboard.
Rules are there ain't no rules.
Right, Crater Face. And also a shout out, Tony, to my man Matt Stenson. We were riffing on Vince Neil and his the gut that he's got. It's a tough look. Vince Neil's out there, he's got the big belly. He says, guys, can we call him Vince Meal? MEAL.
Vince Meal. Nice. Nice.
Vince Meal.
Like Malto Meal.
Yeah, maybe that's why he does the casinos, because he just wants to hit the buffet. He's like, don't pay me, man. I just want to get down there and eat some of those barbecued ribs after the show.
Dude, I miss a good buffet, by the way. COVID kind of killed buffets, and they're slowly coming back, but I love a good buffet.
Well, they got that like sneeze guard, as they call it, which is such a harsh term, dude. Sneeze guard. That piece of glass, that angled glass that kind of hovers over the food, that's supposed to protect you from any kind of germ or bacteria. But they say there's a lot going on in those buffets.
I know.
As far as like microorganisms, bacteria. There's like little communities of creatures who God only knows what's going on.
You know what, though? They say we're ingesting like a credit card worth of plastic every month now, too. So you know what?
Cheers to microplastics. Let me have some right now. Let me wash down my microplastics with some water.
Step outside and get some fresh microplastics.
Yeah, I enjoy that. I got to check my plastic count today. Let me do my testing, my blood level. Yeah.
So, dude, okay, so Paulie, so you're not panicking about the Saturday loss, which is great, because I'm not either. No, but it also goes to show that Jimmy Buckets and the Butler era and the Butler effect are real.
Yeah, you're all over it. No, that's a great call. And that was a takeaway. It's like, wow, look at the impact the guy has. When he's on the floor, everything flows. And when he's not, you wind up losing to a limping Sixer team. And you're right. That was a bad loss. That was kind of a bad look. But they also, Tony, keep in mind, just last thing before you jump back in.
Yeah.
I believe the Warriors right now are in a 3-game in 4-day stretch.
Yes,
so that's taxing, dude. That's taxing for.
They got the Knicks tomorrow at the Garden.
That's always a handful too. The Knicks are scrappy and they're a physical team. They play well at home. That's going to be a tough game too. But Steph loves playing at the Garden, man.
I know.
Steph Curry loves lighting up Madison Square Garden. So look for him to have a big night tomorrow, or at least he'll try to.
And dude, Sons of Johnny LeMaster has been telling us about his bets lately, that he lost on the Dons but that he won on the Dons earlier.
Yeah.
If I'm a betting man tonight, I would bet a lot of money on the Warriors to cover. I just looked it up. It's 11.5 points against the Hornets tonight. I think they come out like a buzzsaw tonight, and
that's a big spread. I don't know.
11.5. I think Warriors win handily tonight. And,
by the way, I just got a good song parody idea for Sons of Johnny Lee. Since Sons of Johnny Lee is one of our great. Is that a new super up there, by the way, Tony? Or
yes, it is. No, this is a new one. I was going to pop it up right now. Lily. That's Lily. Lily Merchant. Wow, Lily. Thank you.
You don't need to do that. but thanks so much, dear. That's really nice of you. And we appreciate you being here. We appreciate the donation. Thank you, Lily. Nice name too. I like the name.
I love but I love all the female representation we have on the show, Paul.
Well, it was Naomi. It was our great listener, a viewer, Naomi, who said we need the ladies of Murph and Mac, or excuse me, Murph and Mac. We need the ladies of the PMP Army. And Dom Peralta, I can tell you, Dom Peralta, Tony and I had a great conversation with Dom on Friday. I think it was Friday. And what a weekend, dude. It's like a blur. The last 40, there really so much. Because I did a gig Friday night with Jimmy Dillon. I forgot to talk about that.
I just remembered something too. Yeah, I just
shout out Jimmy Dillon. We had a great time in Sweetwater. Got a great hang session with my man Paul Liberator from the Marin Independent Journal. I'd never met Paul before, but I've been reading him for years, so that was really cool. Shout out, Paul. Good to see you. And anyway, so my mind is kind of jumbled. It was a really busy weekend, but Dom is working on a variety of designs. And Dom, throw that on the pile of your to-do list for your artistic creations. The ladies of PMP, they're out there and they need their own representation. So if you want to get some designs going on that. Now, Tony, back to an earlier riff. Sons of Johnny LeMaster. One of our great supporters, great viewer, great listener. He's been a great super. He makes all these donations, but he bets a lot, right? He bets a lot, and he's a big Pearl Jam fan. It all came together in my head while you were talking about it. Yeah. Can't find a betting man. We do can't find a betting man for Sons of Johnny Lee, since he likes to wager. Can't find a betting man. Give me your.
And
best,
you've never done better. You've never done better. So
never.
Get you doing
not
better.
even once. Not even once.
You did the vocal because I played Vetter saying I played Vetter saying this.
Yeah, it's nice to see happy people.
Yes. It is so nice to see happy people.
Hey, on that note of Lily making the comment about the super comment about the soundboard, and we have another one to put up here in a second.
God, you guys, thank you, man.
At the end of the show, Paulie and I used to do a soundboard like battle.
Tennis match, just back and forth,
because we both had soundboards, and so that was the idea of us getting soundboards for this show. Because at the end of each show, we used to like fire off sound bites at each other.
We would wind up having conversations, but using the soundboard. Like Tony would say something with his sound, I would answer him with my sound, and then vice versa. And Tony, when we get these things up and running, it is going to take a little bit of time because we got to go. We got to find the right models, we got to buy them, and then we got to load them up. It's going to take a little time, but it's definitely coming soon. I would say, Tony, in this month of March, hopefully within the next 2 weeks, we'll have everything up and ready. But it's coming, and it's coming real soon. So thanks for all of your support. You guys are really making this happen. Tony, go.
Paulie, setting up the soundboard. Zaza would like to chime in.
Nothing easy.
Okay, it's not easy. It's not easy to set up the soundboard, but we will set it up. But I'm and as Arnold would like to say,
come on, don't bullshit me.
The best. Okay. I'll tell you the truth. That's a sound give me Arnold again real quick.
Come on, don't bullshit me.
Okay. Origin story of that soundbite. Tony used to play.
I gotta get another super up here too, by the way.
Tony used to play that Schwarzenegger cut. I don't even know where it's from. And it made me laugh so hard. And it stayed in my head for like the past 25 years. I walk around my house saying that, dude. I do. Like, I'd be like, is there any orange juice in the fridge? No, we're out. Come on. Don't bullshit me. I say it
don't bullshit me
all the time. What is the origin of that? Where's that from?
You know what? I don't know either. I really don't know either. I've had that soundbite for almost, I don't know, 30 years or 25 years. I've had that for so long. Yeah. And then I just want to play this just because I miss this man dearly and I cannot wait to get him back in the mix. And we're going to get him on the show when Niner Ball returns.
I am absolutely jacked out of my mind, bro.
Dude, the more Tim Ryan, the better off this whole world will be in the long run. There's nobody like Tim Ryan. Last time I saw Tim Ryan, he picked me up from behind and he lifted me off the ground about 4 feet, like my legs were dangling, like I was a second grader. It was kind of embarrassing, actually. Holy Mac, boom, he just lifted me right up. Hey, Naomi from the ladies,
Naomi from the ladies of the PMP Army. That is fantastic.
Hey, Naomi, thank you, dear, very, very much. You've been with us since day one, and we really appreciate your support in particular. We really do. You're like a constant presence of good vibes. Seriously. Tony, got to ask you a quick question about tomorrow. Why don't we do a little forward teasing back to Motley Crue teaser and Vince Meal? That's with an M. Go ahead and tease our special Niner-centric guest for tomorrow. Go.
Well, I've been in contact with Dante Whitner, and he said absolutely Tuesday I'll come on. Now the hard part is just pinning Dante down.
Yeah.
To get a specific time.
Tim Ryan's like that too. Tim Ryan's the same way, dude. He's very elusive. Hard to get a hold of. Yes,
very elusive. So I'm like telling Dante, whatever time works for you, we will record you, and like we don't need to do it live. We can record you. So, dude, just let me know a time, and we'll make it work. But Dante's definitely up for coming on the show.
Yeah,
we just got to nail down a time for him tomorrow. And
okay.
Naomi, thank you for the comment.
Yes, thanks,
and
Naomi.
Super. And then also John Joseph and a few other people in the comment line are saying Total Recall. Come on, don't bullshit me. It's from Total Recall. So.
Are you serious? Wow.
I was not aware of that.
Okay,
Total
I didn't know, and I've seen Total Recall a couple times, but I don't remember it. But thank you guys. And John Joseph, again, dude, great to meet you the other night, man. John Joseph's our guy, Tony. He showed up at Longbridge Pizza. It was great to meet him. Hey, listen, clock's ticking. It's getting late here. We got to let people get to lunch. So let's get into the back end of the show and wrap on a Monday. Yes, Tony, go ahead.
I just wanted to say that we had a special guest at my daughter's father-daughter dance on Saturday night. I walk into the gym, and a few other dads approach me, and they go, hey, man, make sure you don't bump into Brian Urlacher in the photo booth line. And I go, that's funny. Somebody dressed up like Brian Urlacher or somebody, because it was a Western theme for the, so people were like wearing cowboy boots.
When do I see the picture of you in the cowboy suit? I need it at ASAP.
Dude, I just went.
I told you I did a cowboy thing with the Lone Ranger when I was a little kid. I can relate. I'm the same. I got cowboy fantasies like anybody.
Oh man, but shout out to all the dads that just took care of themselves in the extracurricular world going into the dance. I just got to give love to that, because everybody had a good time before the dance. They prepped themselves well. But I walk in, and there is Brian Urlacher from the Chicago Bears in the gym of this father-daughter dance. I'm like, what the hell? It really is Brian Urlacher, dude. You want to talk about a massive human being? Like,
he's like a brick wall.
Strong, and couldn't have been nicer. And he took pictures with people all night long. He was one of my daughter's classmates' uncles. I guess that's who he is. And it was just like, this is really bizarre. But I'm like, couldn't have been a cooler guy.
That's great.
I'm really big fan of his. And he danced with his niece, dude. Like, because a lot of those girls are very bashful about dancing with their dads or with their, with their whoever they're with.
How'd you do? Right? Did you get on the floor with Olivia?
I did. Yeah, it was tough because she was reluctant. I even put her over my shoulder and grabbed her. I said, "You're coming out here with me and cutting the rug."
Tony's daughter is stunning. She's a beautiful she's a beautiful kid. Tony, real quick too, you're talking cowboys, all this cowboy stuff. Give me name any one or two of your favorite cowboy related songs or songs with cowboy in the title. Go.
Well, like a rhinestone cowboy. I gotta go right.
Good pull, dude. Right? I wouldn't have thought that's why I bring this up. Go ahead.
Right.
Good one.
Rhinestone cowboy. And then I gotta give like Patty from Napa. She's a John Bon guy. John Bon Jovi.
Cowboy.
Yeah.
Yeah. On a steel horse I ride. Okay.
I mean,
not a bad track.
It's a good track, and I got to give it some love. And that's, if I'm gonna put on a Bon Jovi tune, that's the one I'm gonna listen to. Although, for some reason, at recent weddings I've been to, "Living on a Prayer" just brings the house down.
Oh, that's too bad.
Brings the house down.
That's too bad.
And I'm just like, wow. And it's like a major sing along, dude.
That's when I leave. That's when I leave the dance floor, go outside and smoke a Marlboro Red during "Living on a Prayer." Or I love
that we're talking smoking.
Yeah. Don't try this at home, kids. I'm a child of the 80s. You don't want to try this at home. But this is the way it used to be. I would go around. I would be like, anybody smoking around here? Let's get the hell out of here.
Dude, we're getting
yeah. Well,
multiple mentions for "Cowboys from Hell" by Pantera on the comment line.
That's a great one. Let me throw in a couple of my own, too. What is the Thin Lizzy song? It's called Cowboy Song, right? Great Thin Lizzy song, Cowboy Song. And then I got to go Grateful Dead. Grateful Dead, they got a ton of cowboy songs, but I'll pick one on top of my head. I'll do El Paso, which is a Marty Robbins song, but the cowboy, off to my right, ride a 5 mounted cowboys, off to my left, ride a dozen or more. A lot of cowboy stuff with Bob Weir. Some people in the Dead community call Bob Weir Cowboy Bob.
Seriously?
FYI, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Cowboy Bob, y'all. Hit hi-ho silver, and away we go, y'all.
Wow.
It's Bob Weir on his cowboy. All right, Tony, anyway, final stuff here. What are we doing? Top 3?
I love that you're talking cowboy stuff, Paulie, but I was not expecting it. By the way, have you ever rocked a bolo tie?
No. I had one I got one as a gift once in the 80s because they were like all the rage for a little while. And believe it or not, I know this sounds crazy, I actually think Bruce Springsteen had his hand in bringing those back because he wore a bolo tie on the cover of Tunnel of Love.
He did.
And
that's true.
Yeah,
that is true.
And so from that point, I'm not kidding. I think he's kind of reignited that trend, and people started wearing them. So somebody gave me one as a gift.
Nice.
But I never wore it though. But I did have one. I just didn't wear it. Yeah.
I've never worn it. I've never worn one either. But I actually contemplated getting one for the dance, but my daughter begged me not to. So
it's a rough look. You got to be a confident dude to pull that shit off. Yeah.
I can't do it. And by the way, if you want to talk modern day cowboys, I have a musical recommendation, Paulie. Colter Wall is his name. He is like a modern day. He sounds as deeper than like Johnny Cash depths of the timbre of his voice. Check him out. I don't even know how old he is, but he's got songs about Texas.
Well,
and, really, really talented dude. If you want to check him out, Colter Wall. And I got to put Patty up on the wall because look at Patty, another super from Patty. Thank you, Patty.
Patty.
For Tony and
Sorry,
John
Patty.
Bond.
No, nothing personal. I know how it is, Patty. I gave you some love the other day, though. I told you I watched some of that documentary, and I did. I watched like 30 minutes of episode 1. I think there are multiple episodes, right? I got to go back and check it out. Tony, what else? And I want to shout out because you kind of quoted the song, California Boys in Tesla. They actually had a song called Modern Day Cowboy. Pretty good track, too. Shout out our friends in Tesla. I think they're
just to confirm, Thin Lizzy's song is the cowboy song. So you were on it, Paulie. You were on that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Phil Lynott for life. Rest in peace.
Dude, look at Karen Bell. Karen Bell, who was a super from earlier, so I feel like I can bring her up. She says Colter Wall is Canadian. Full circle back to triumph.
Fight the good fight, man. Fight the good fight. Yeah, I can't really do it. I can't really do my Rick Emmett today.
So good.
Tony, I'll tell you one thing. When I woke up out of bed today, there was one thing if you put a gun to my head, I would have said, there's no way we're talking triumph today.
Right.
But we are talking triumph. That's the way it's unfolding. And I can't name the one guy, Rick Emmett. That's the extent of my Triumph knowledge.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah.
By the way, the Triumph logo, by the way, was one of those ones that stuck in my head.
It was like an eagle or something.
Yeah, but it was also like the font was really, I don't know, just screaming.
Triumph. Do you guys, by the way, go to next, speaking of weddings, when you get that Bon Jovi song, this is the great maneuver that Winks, my buddy Winks and I have been doing since the 90s. You walk up to a wedding band or a DJ and just after the most outlandish shit possible. So you could like walk up to him and say like, you guys know Cowboys from Hell by Pantera? Shit like that. Just watch the reaction and be like, what? Excuse me? Yeah, Pantera. You guys know any Pantera? The answer would be no.
Oh, it's the best. Paulie, we're not going to do a top 3 today, but I think I want to give you a number 3 because, by the way, Rags was pissed last week and said we owe him top 3s this week. He was like,
don't piss off Rags. He's got a short fuse. Yeah.
I also I got to give NorCal Refrigeration and HVAC some love because he continues the Hans Lufa riffing.
Yeah.
And Hans Lufa, I think it was like from our first or second show. And I love
that was the first show. That was our debut show.
show.
You gave birth to the Hans Lufa community. Yeah.
Dude, he said, ask Dante Whitner if he knows Hans Lufa. So he
might. And Hans might be like, yes, I do. I know him. Yes. I bought fabric from Hans Lufa. By the way,
go.
No. Finish your thought. My bad.
No. By the way, because mine is more top 3 related. Go.
Well, okay. Final message. I'm shouting out Christian Amaru. That's my buddy Eugene. He's down there in Georgia, but he's
too bad, Eugene.
Too bad, Eugene. He's a Jersey boy. We grew up together. He threw this wedding band riff on the pile. Do you guys know any Girl School? Huge. Here's the thing with Girl School. I've seen them live. I saw them live in the 80s. I swear to God, I saw Girl School open for Deep Purple on the Perfect Strangers tour. I saw that at the Meadowlands in Jersey.
Damn.
Great show, by the way. That's a great Purple album. Great tour. Great show. The original band, Richie Blackmore, was back. Kick-ass show that was. But yeah, Girl School was the opening band at the Deep Purple gig I saw. So anyway,
wow.
Yeah,
how was it? How was it?
How was Girl School?
Yeah.
Well, they were like tough chicks, man. They kind of scared me a little bit. I remember they were like, and I think they were from England, Girl School, right?
Yeah.
You guys, right? And they kind of scared me. They were like in leather jackets. They're rocking. It was like 5 Joan Jetts on stage at once. That kind of thing. You know what I mean? I was like, well, damn.
I got a couple female tips for you, Paulie. First of all, if you
God knows I could use them, Tony. Go ahead. Yeah,
dude. Get in line. Get in line, buddy.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out. I got no answers. Only questions.
Paulie,
only questions.
We never will.
No.
Just accept
it now. Accept it now. There's nothing to understand. It's out of my hands. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly. But all female band that's out there playing nowadays, go see Zepparella. I can't. Zepparella.
Now you're see. Here we go.
But they rep the music very strongly. And the drummer, it's like she studied video of John Bonham, because even her mannerisms and the way she plays is like watching Bonham play, and she just hammers these skins.
Okay.
So just Zepparella if you get a chance. And then I see your wheels are moving.
Oh, I already got several I'm coming at you with. So yeah, my wheels, as soon as you said all female bands, there's a lot of great ones out there.
Yeah.
Let's give them a shout out real quick, top of my head. And you talked about a Zepparella. Did you know there's a Black Sabbath, all female Black Sabbath tribute band called, ready? Black Sabbath.
Dude.
Sabbath, like bitch. Savage, Black Sabbath. Haven't seen them yet, but I want to see them, and I hear they're really good. And it's an all-female Sabbath band. Then you got to shout out the local girls. I think they're from Palo Alto. Shout out the Donnas, kind of a female Ramones.
The Donnas are a good band. Yeah,
Donnas are a good band. A lot of pop punk, very Ramones-y, Cheap Trick kind of stuff. And then wait, there was the Don. Oh, and the band I saw with Winks last summer. Winks and I think Winks is on the comment line today.
He's on fire.
Winks and I saw a kick-ass band in Los Angeles last summer open for the Rolling Stones. They're called the Linda Lindas. Ooh. And I think they're all Japanese too. It's an all-girl band, and they're teenagers, dude.
Nice.
They're like young kids, but they freaking rocked. It's kind of like
just checked in. He just checked in. He said they're all in high school. He said they're all in high school. Yep.
I got you, Winks, and they were great. Winks and I really liked them. The Linda Lindas.
John Joseph and Bradley C84 also want to check in. Say ACD She.
Yeah, they're big too. Yeah, right. You see them coming around a lot. Actually, I think they've played up at Sweetwater before. All right,
Paulie,
so
what are we gonna do here? Hold on, though. There's one thing I need to know before the end of the show. Do you want? Because there's chatter about the Niners wanting to trade Ayuk. Or the Niners not wanting to, but the Niners, there's a lot of chatter about them trading Ayuk.
I understand.
Do you want that, or do you want Ayuk to remain a Niner?
Boy, it's a really great question. I mean, there's so many factors to this thing. His salary, what that means to the cap, what that means to potentially bringing in other players, other free agents. And then and I like Brandon Ayuk. I'm a big supporter of Brandon Ayuk. I always have. I've always liked him. And he had that breakout season 2 years ago where suddenly he kind of became the number one. Like he really did. I thought he elevated above Deebo Samuel at that point. So to answer your question, Tony, there's so much unknown. It's hard to answer it logically because I don't know physically what he's going to look like after the injury. It's hard to predict. Like what will he be, a shadow of himself? Will he be
the shadow of a man?
Nice.
Sorry,
shout out Oysterhead. No. Always welcome on the program. Any less Claypool.
A shadow of a man.
Billy came home from Vietnam, just a shadow of a man. He was a shadow of a man when he came back from Vietnam. By the way,
I can proudly see. Go ahead.
That's my first Les Claypool vocal rendering in history on the show. I hope you guys.
Well, you're going to need more. You're going to need more.
Are you
I
really?
can safely say that we might be the only show that goes from Brendan Ayuk to Oysterhead. That's all.
And then John Joseph encouraging us not to forget the ladies of Vixen. Don't forget about Vixen. Didn't he have that track called, what was it, Girls? What they had some the name of that damn
also
song.
The Iron Maidens. Don't forget about the Iron Maidens. We're getting on
sure. Shout out the Iron Maidens. Why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Hey Tony, let's get into it. So what's your so with Ayuk, dude? I'll say yes. I want him back. I want him back, but only if it doesn't destroy our salary cap. Yes. What do you got?
The Vixen? Oh no, I don't know. I'm looking at Wikipedia, so it could be wrong, but it says they were also known before they were known as Vixen. They were also known as Diaper Rash.
Oh, come on, man.
That's pretty wild.
What do you? That's not a good name for a band. Yeah, Diaper Rash ain't gonna work.
No,
not something you're gonna sell records with. Tony,
what in the hell? That's wild.
Well, listen,
So, Paulie, back to the Ayuk thing. I need him back. I mean, not back. I need him to stay on the night. Stay on the
back for more. Rat. Yeah.
Well. From yeah,
I'm all over it. Yeah.
Sorry, but tell me who's going to be the leader of the wide receiver group without Ayuk?
Could be Juwan Jennings. You know what I mean? Could
really?
Be Juwan Jennings. Why everybody's discounting him?
I'm not discounting. I'm just saying, as your leader, like I think Ayuk could be like the leader of that core and really solidify the Jennings.
If he's physically able to, like if he's physically back to do that, I agree. But I don't know. I don't know if he will be physically back to that level. But Juwan Jennings showed me a lot last year. I'm pretty comfortable with him.
I like him. I like him too. And Pearsall, supposedly, like it's going to be a breakout year for Pearsall. I'm hoping.
It's harder for me to form a really sound opinion on Pearsall. I just need to see more. That's just me. I want to see more from Pearsall before I kind of rule on that. But also, I think I think his catches should increase this year. He had a great year last year.
He had the best year of his career.
That's what I'm saying. With the football in his hand, we all know what can happen. So I think he's got to be considered as one of their primary targets. Look, they got to tweak the offense a little bit, man. And maybe not leave him back to block as often. Send him downfield. Let him get involved. Let him make some plays.
He's such a good blocker, though, man.
Yeah, I know.
Those pancake blocks that he does, right?
And he takes a lot of pride in his blocking too. Like it's a real big part of his game that he's very proud of. So
correct. I just maybe the Niners can draft that tight end from Penn State, Tyler Warren. And then that'd be a good reason to trade Ayuk because you could do 2 tight end sets, and that guy could learn under Kittle, not learn, but be under the tutelage of Kittle.
I love a 2 tight end set. I love that.
Too.
When they did that with Vernon Davis and Delaney Walker, like I love that era of Niner ball, having those 2 wide. And you know what's crazy too? You look back at that Jim Harbaugh era of 49er football when they did go to a Super Bowl, went to a couple NFC Championship games. Their lead receiver was Mike Crabtree.
Mm-hmm.
He was he was okay, but I think these guys are better than Crabtree. I do. I think Ayuk and Deebo at their best were better than Crabtree ever was.
Yes. Oh, I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
And no shade on Crabtree. I got no problem with him, but I don't think he was at the level these guys are. I don't.
Right. No, I agree. And on the Deebo thing too, Paulie, we were talking about it with Murph, and I know you're like, don't let the door hit you. And and Murph is like, like applauding the career I'm kind of in the middle where I'm just kind of bummed. I'm bummed that it all happened the way it did. I'm bummed that it took a turn for the worse. I'm bummed that he messed with the Niner vibe.
He did. In my opinion, you're right. He did. The vibe was off last year.
It just sucks, man.
Yeah.
And then it got me thinking, like, and how he's also put on like 20 LBs or whatever.
Where's your level of commitment, dude? We just gave you the big money. Now you're putting on 20 pounds of fat. Cut the crap.
It made me think of like, can you name the athletes or actors that just said, F it, I'm just going to let it go. I'm just going to let it go.
Marlon Brando, dude. Marlon Brando basically laid around wearing a sheet for like the last 20 years of his life. Michael, I don't want to get in the family business. But now, look at Marlon, dude. He was like an Adonis earlier in his life.
Yeah.
Named Desire, you know what I mean? On the waterfront, all that stuff. Stella. And then you see him at the end, dude. Yeah, Marlon didn't get. You know what, though? But there's something to be said for just not giving a damn. Like, there really is something to be said for, like, just letting go of the wheel and just saying, screw it. I want a bucket of fried chicken. I'll eat the whole thing right now. Screw it. I'm going to get a dozen donuts. Dude, who's with me? You know what I mean? Like,
I've been known to just take a whole pint of Ben and Jerry's down while watching a movie.
What flavor?
So Chocolate Therapy is Chocolate Therapy by Ben and Jerry's.
What's in it?
It's outrageous. It's got like brownie chunks, or no, they're like chocolate chunks, and then chocolate pudding and chocolate ice cream, and it's outrageous.
Chocolate pudding in the ice cream.
Yeah, it's outrageous. Okay. It's incredible.
I like chocolate pudding.
My son Dom is a big fish food guy. He loves the fish food ice cream.
Yeah,
and then Olivia loves the brownie one. Why?
Unlike Tony, who's a shill for corporate America, Tony always aligns himself with the big corporations.
Oh, yeah.
You always do. Yeah, Tony's big on aligning himself with – I'm kidding, dude. Tony's a total hippie like me. But I would say this. I like to support and I love Ben & Jerry's too. They do a lot of great causes. And
they do.
They're good dudes. But, dude, I like to give love to the local ice cream guys too. Shout out Double Rainbow. I've told you in the past, I'm a Double Rainbow guy. And if you like chocolate, I got to double down on this now, Tony. I encourage you. No joke. Go to your supermarket, get a pint of Double Rainbow Ultra chocolate.
Oh, it's fantastic. I've had it. It's fantastic.
Really good, dude.
And Double Rainbow's peanut butter and chocolate is my favorite peanut butter and chocolate ice cream.
I've never had that. Had that.
Get it.
Okay.
And then I want to get if you're gonna give local creameries some love.
I am. I'd like
to. We gotta give Mary Ann's ice cream in Santa Cruz. Like they're a home run, Paulie, out of Santa Cruz. Check out Mary Ann's. You can find them and your local market might have them in their freezer. Look for
shout
Mary
out
Ann's.
Andy's on 5th. My guy Don who works down there. It's like a mom and pop shop we got here in San Rafael. Mitch Cumstein now calling Tony. This is the best. A long hair, even though he's completely shaved his head. You're getting called a long hair. That's awesome. Nice. Finally, nice. Leah Phillips coming in. Don't forget, dude. I like that she doesn't say Baskin Robbins. She goes 31 flavors. Okay.
Yeah.
Gold medal ribbon from 31 Flavor. I've never even heard of that flavor, Leah, but I trust
gold medal ribbon's fantastic.
I haven't.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Call.
Yeah.
Great call, Leah.
But then again, see, I don't frequent 31 flavors like Leah must. That's so cool. I like
and we're getting some
31.
love for Mitchell's ice cream too. Mitchell's ice cream as well, which
by
is
the
local.
way, good particle kind of preview right there. Because didn't Dante Whitner wear number 31, Tony?
He was 31. Yes,
yeah.
Actually,
So
it's a great call.
It's a lot of good
great
particles
call.
right there. Maybe Leah's feeling the Dante Whitner guest appearance tomorrow. Yes, Tony.
Can you remember the 31 before Dante?
Stand by on this now.
I think I might have got you. I think I got you.
No, whoa. Slow down. Slow your roll there, kids. So Tony and I do this Niner number thing. You know how it goes. We'll go deep and we'll go all day. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, one of my favorite Niners, he was here and gone really quick, but he made an impact. Okay.
Yeah.
Won a Super Bowl. I think he won 2 Super Bowls. Shout out. Ready? Chet Brooks, Holmes.
Dude, you got it. Nice call. Great job.
That's my guy, Chet Brooks. He used that. And then, by the way, I remember Chet Brooks. He was a hitter, too. What happened to Chet Brooks?
He was same style as maybe it's something about that jersey number. Same style as Dante, man.
He was physical D-back. What happened to him, though? Like, he was here, and then, like,
I don't know.
Yeah, I forget. It was a short stint he had in San Francisco, but he had an impactful stint. So, yeah, Chet Brooks, dude, very nice. Me and you, buddy.
Hey, on the way out the door here, Paulie, because we're going to wrap here, we were talking about the ladies of the PMP Army, and I wrote a note earlier in the show.
I see him right now. I see him right in front of me right now. Yeah.
Dude, Naomi and Patty, they Leah, and Karen and Lily, like all these people, thank you all very, very much for your contributions.
Yeah.
But it reminded me that I wanted to give we started watching this show on Netflix as a family, and the language is not very family suitable, but it's still a very good show.
Wait, what show? What?
It's called Running Point on Netflix.
Okay.
And it's Kate Hudson, and it's she basically takes over a professional basketball team with her 3 brothers, and her 3 brothers are hilarious, dude.
Okay.
They're hilarious. It's basically the Los Angeles Waves is the basketball team. I kind of think it's kind of an offshoot of the Lakers, maybe, or something.
Or be like
inspired. Yeah, like inspired by the Lakers.
Yeah.
Really good show. Check out Running Point. It's look at Patty. Patty knows what I'm talking about. She loves Running Point. It's really good.
I got to say, my final 2 things, and we got to wrap. We got to let these guys go eat their lunch today, Tony. Final thing, first of all, Naomi. Naomi is awesome, dude. She's like Dom, because now she's giving show content. She ready for what Naomi just wrote? I wonder if Dante Whitner will appear in a robe, and what will it be made of? What will the fat? That's a great. Those are 2 great questions. When you go back to Dante today to set up the interview, tell him about Roby Tuesday if he wants to participate.
I will.
I predict he will. I predict he'll have something really badass too.
He told us he goes to Morocco to shop for his clothing and his shoes. That's not a lie.
He's damn serious about his fashion choices. So
he probably has a Moroccan robe, I'm guessing.
I would hope so, and I think I need one as well. Tony, so what was I going to say? I got the plug for. I wanted to say final thing. Sorry, I remembered.
Yeah, go.
Since Tony is plugging this Netflix show about Kate Hudson, what's the name of the show again, T?
Running Point.
Thank you. Running Point. I haven't seen that yet. I hadn't even heard of it, but there's so many choices now. I would like to plug the new season of White Lotus. I watched episode 3 last night. And speaking of, come on, don't bullshit me. Come on, don't bullshit me. Can I get an encore real quick? Just my head. Just my head.
I gotta get it. Hold on. Where is it? Hold on.
Come on, don't bullshit me.
That's something about it. Come on, don't bullshit me. Anyway, Arnold Schwarzenegger's son, Patrick, he's one of the lead stars on the new White Lotus.
Oh, yeah?
And you can see Arnold's face. He's big. He's all buffed out, this kid. But he's a hell of a character. I don't know if anybody up there is watching White Lotus, but if you do, you know what I'm talking about.
I'll dive in because it's a great show.
He's been called a douche by several girls on the show multiple times already. He's got a really douchey persona. You know what I mean? He's kind of like the worst kind of dude you would see at the gym working out. Hey, how much you bench? Yeah. Let's go have some protein shakes, bro. He's like one of those guys. You know what I mean? He's drinking protein shakes. He's working out. He's kind of a douche. But anyway, he's on the show.
Maybe Deebo needs to get a protein shake, huh? Maybe.
Well, as long as it's low fat, low cal.
I know we're wrapping.
I know.
How do you think Deebo's going to do with the Commanders? I actually think he's going to.
I think he'll do really well.
So do I.
And the other thing, and this I hate this about this era of athletics we're living in, that I think this is a contract year for him. So he's probably going to play his ass off. You know what I mean? He'll play his ass off and he'll show out and wind up getting signed to another big deal. But no, I think he'll fit in really well with the Commanders. They got a great physical offense. He will be he'll be the lead dog, man. He'll be one of the lead dogs on that offense.
Him and Terry and McLaurin, dude.
I know McLaurin's a beast. I know. Yeah. And I think that they're going to have they could win the NFC East this year, man. They're going to challenge Philly. I'm telling you.
I know. Good. I hope so.
Especially when you come off a Super Bowl, man, that takes a toll. It really does. That's a lot of football, a lot of pressure. And it's draining. It's a draining experience. So don't assume Philly's just going to waltz right back in as the number 1 seed. No. I think Washington is going to actually give them a run for their money next year. And I look forward to that. Robot Centaur, you're right. Schwarzenegger does play that role really well. I'm trying to get trying to reel in Tony to watch a new White Lotus. You're going to enjoy it when you do, T.
I will get in. And also I want to give Corinne some love here. She said,
Corinne.
I love Corinne. This is deep KNBR.
I don't see her. Oh, there she is.
When we did this I made a White Lotus sounder for one of your Hawaii trip contests.
That's Tony. Yeah.
And I cannot believe that is going deep. That is fantastic, Corinne. So yeah, we did a White Lotus sounder, and I was like, I don't know if people are gonna know what this is, but Murph and you and Murph both love the fact that we did a White Lotus sounder for that. So Corinne, great call, man.
Yeah.
That's going deep into the archives right there.
Corinne, it's so great to have Corinne back in the mix. I love Corinne. And Patty, I'm with you. That snake scene last night, Walton Goggins letting the snakes out, that was very, very disturbing. And by the way, I'm a Goggins fan, bro. I'm a Goggins fan. If you know Walton Goggins, he's been on Vice Principals.
Yeah.
He's been in a couple of Tarantino movies, actually. He had a pretty big role in The Hateful Eight. Anyway, I'm a fan of his work, and he was nuts last night, Tony. Smoked a big joint. They're in Thailand. He got super high, and then he walked into like this snake, this area where there were like dozens and dozens of caged snakes, but venomous snakes, like dangerous.
Ooh, it's like kind of like Raiders of the Lost Ark when Indiana Jones falls into the pit of snakes.
Yeah, but this was more disturbing because Goggins walks in there and he's like, no, man, they got to be free. They shouldn't be held captive. So he opens up all the cages of these venomous snakes. Snakes get out of goddamn cages. One of them bites his girlfriend. Boom, right on the leg immediately. Very I know. Very distressing scene to watch. Final thoughts.
I don't like snakes. If there's one thing no.
No. And you're a lover of all creatures. Tony's
I appreciate snakes from afar. They slither and they're so quick and they can be around.
They slither. Yeah. Tony, shout out to Keith Richards' snakeskin boots that he used to wear. Now I like some snakeskin boots. I'm not going to lie. How do you feel about that? Would you wear snakeskin if I gave you snakeskin?
Who's laughing again? I mean, whose boots again?
Keith Richards.
Any chance I get to play that laugh, I'm going to play it. So,
yeah.
Do I like snakeskin boots? Never even thought about it until right now.
Yeah, something I never thought I'd shout out in my entire life, but this is the moment. It's come this one time. It's a one and done. Shout out Ted Nugent, snakeskin Cowboys. You heard me. Snakeskin Cowboys. Tony, it's out there if you need it. All right, listen.
Unless you're talking Wango Tango, I don't know if I want any Nugent in my life, so I'll have to try it out.
It's a Wango de Tango. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wango Tango. Wango Tango. Great track, by the way, Tony.
It's a great track.
My face is a Maserati. Well, it's a Maserati. A Maserati. I had no idea I was going to be doing Terrible Ted today, but I enjoyed that. I said a Wango Tango. Wango Tango. Dude, do you guys know Wango Tango? Try that at your next wedding. See how that goes. Do you guys know any early Ted Nugent? Anything off the first couple of records? Yeah, see how that goes. You guys know anything off It's better. Tony, do you guys know Wang Dang Sweet Poontang? Do you guys know that one? Yeah, Wang Dang Sweet Poontang. Great track. It is. It's a great track. Sorry. I
hope that one day you do come across that DJ or band that does know Wango Tango.
That's
or one
a great
of those,
call.
Right?
Yeah, just now being ready for the guy to go like, matter of fact, I do know Wango Tango. Here it comes. Yeah.
Matter of fact, here we go. We'll play it next.
And like calling me out. Matter of fact, I do know a tough guy. Here it comes. Yeah. Be like, dude, thank you. Let me go smoke a Marlboro Red and get into this. All right, Tony. Today we discussed Marlboro Reds, terrible Ted Nugent, Prince's girlfriends. Would Nikki Sixx beat up Prince in a fight? Brandon Ayuk. Deebo Samuel. We talked some Warrior basketball with and without Jimmy Butler. Boy, if we put down every talking point today, there's got to be 3-4 dozen different talking points we wove in and out of
Whitner, Chet Brooks. We talked about Brian Urlacher. We talked about Mick Jagger. We talked White Lotus. We talked running point. We talked coffee grinder dance moves. We talked surfing, skateboarding.
Yeah.
There's a lot happening. We talked Oysterhead. That's all. Need you say more?
No. Dude, I actually sang Billy Came Home from Vietnam, Just a Shadow of a Man. I didn't expect to do that today either.
Shadow of a man.
But that's why we like to turn on the mics and see what happens. All right, Longbridge Pizza. We know how great you guys have been to date so far, and we look forward to the greatness of March 27th when we have the Polymac Particle viewing party for opening day, Giants baseball. If Saturday night was any indication, Tony, we're going to have a great time because I got to meet a lot of our friends, a lot of our listeners, a huge Stormtrooping, good track. I like that one too. Stormtrooping's good. And then Stranglehold, of course, with the great jam in the middle. That's a great track too. Those Terrible Ted records, the first 2-3 of them, they're really good. But he wasn't running his mouth back then. He was just a guitar player. Now he's saying all kinds of crazy shit. It's like, Ted, easy, bro. Easy. But anyway, yes, I want to go back to Longbridge. Visit their menu, longbridgepizza.com. A lot of great choices. Yes, Leah Phillips, gluten-free choices for people like yourself with those kind of concerns. They'll take care of you. And that is a big part of the Longbridge experience. That's why they call it, Tony, the Vibe Tribe.
Yep, the Vibe Tribe.
Oh my God, I forgot to mention probably the most important takeaway of the night. Are you ready for this, Tony? So there I am at Longbridge, Saturday night. I'm hanging with your John Josephs, your John with the USF pullover, your BCs, your Brian Connors, your Drutsies, your Kim Drutsies. And all of a sudden I go, you know what? I got to go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. I go to the bathroom. I'm looking at all the fish posters. They got all these fish posters in the bathroom. So I'm checking those out, like a series of them. I'm like, yeah, look at that. All of a sudden over the loudspeaker, because you know how I'm always talking about the playlist? They're bumping the playlist. You know who I got this time? I got Live Jane's Addiction.
Nice.
Live Jane's Addiction. So I go running out of the men's room right to Neil Denardi. And I'm like, dude, now you're stepping it up. Yes, I've heard Garcia. Yes, I've heard Hendrix. Yes, I've heard the Stones and so on. But now you're coming at me with Live Jane's Addiction. Dude, this is now you're ratcheting it up even higher. So anyway, that's the vibe.
Steven, dude. That's Steven. Steven's on the music, man. We got to give love to Steven. He does the playlist there. You can find him on Spotify too if you search Longbridge or LXBXPXCX is one of the names of his playlists.
There's my guy John right there. John Coughlin. That's my guy. He got the Nico pie. That's the guy with the USF pullover. John. No, you would have loved this guy, Tony. He was a cool dude. He had De La Salle ties. Big USF supporter. And when I looked at his pizza, I go, dude, that's a great looking pie you got there. And he goes, no, I got the Nico because you said it was so good. I was like, nice, John. Nice. Anyway, great to meet you guys. And we'll see all of you and more at on opening day, March 27th.
And Paulie, on that note, on Tuesday, they'll do smash burgers. Tomorrow, Wednesday is chicken parm Wednesday. Thursday, they do the Detroit style square pizzas, man. So, and then there's talk of maybe a chicken parm sandwich showing up at our watch party on March 27th. So
correct.
Lots in the works.
Well, thank you, Longbridge Pizza. If you're in the dog patch, have them deliver. Just chill, watch Netflix, watch that show Tony was talking about. What's her face with the Waves?
Running Point.
Yeah, and the name of the team is the Waves.
The Waves, the Los Angeles Waves,
Okay,
it's great. It's Paulie. It's really you'd love it. The three brothers.
It's a comedy.
Brothers.
It's a comedy.
It's a comedy drama. It's I don't know what you want to call it. It's funny, but it's really good. It's really well done.
Okay,
really well done. Well, and Kate Hudson. I've always liked Kate Hudson.
Me too.
She's great.
Me too. I like Kate.
She's
Hudson
great. Well,
too.
she's a badass bitch who runs this organization now because her older brother is like an undercover crackhead. So then he like has to go into like rehab and like it's wild.
By the way, Kate Hudson from all my sources tell me that when my sources on the streets, Tony, I got people on the streets. They stop me and they go, Paulie, I want to talk to you about Kate Hudson real quick. I go, fine. What do you got? And then they tell me that when she was with Chris Robinson of the Black Crowes, I think this is so cool. She's like a Hollywood girl. He's a Southern dude.
Yeah,
they were living in Fairfax, dude. They were living right over here, like right up the street, which is like maybe. I mean, aside from maybe Sebastopol, Tony, you help me out. Biggest hippie enclaves in Northern California. Fairfax has got to be up there. I bet you right now, if I drove over to Fairfax, I'd see Barry Sless just walking around in a tank top.
Maybe we should come up with like a crunch meter. Like, what is the crunchy? How crunchy?
Like one of those metal detectors when you hold it on the beach, and if it finds a watch, it goes doot, 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 it starts to ring, dude. Like we do like the crunch meter. I aim it towards. In fact, it'll probably just start smoking. Like,
well, because you could do that with certain shows. Like, what shows are crunchier than others? And I will put a Steve Kimmock band show as the crunch factor. I'll put that. I got hit in the face with a flying dreadlock by the guy dancing next to me. His dreadlock hit me in the cheek. It was a total accident. We laughed about it.
No, yeah,
but it was pretty wild, man.
Dude, you and I went to a Phil and Friends show at Terrapin some years ago, and the girl in front of me, I had the same phenomenon. The girl in front of me was a white dread, and she was whipping her dreads, and I was getting whipped constantly.
Do that again.
Well, no, because you know what I mean. Like she was like whipping her hippie dreads, and I was getting whipped with her dreads. And you want to know what? I kind of liked it.
Yeah,
I kind of liked it.
Totally.
I did. And I will say this, they were softer than I expected. That's what I remembered. I thought they'd be kind of coarse, like rough. Not at all. They were like silky soft. I was like, wow, keep hitting me with your dreads. I'm kind of digging this. What are you doing after this set? I'm kidding. All right, Tony. So thank you,
Longbridge Kate Hudson
Pizza.
and Chris Robinson out in Fairfax. Loved it for that little stint that they were there. You'd see Chris Robinson at Terrapin Crossroads often when he was playing with Phil.
Well, dude, when Chris Robinson was sitting in with Phil, because he did for like a year, he was part of the Phil Lesh thing.
Yeah.
Kate Hudson was all over that scene, and she was like in the Mardi Gras parade at Bill Graham Civic. Like she was on the floats throwing the beads out and stuff.
Nice.
Like, hey, that's Kate Hudson, man. So anyway, Tony, great to see you today. Thank you, Longbridge Pizza. We'll see you guys soon.
Longbridge Pizza. Love you guys, and love all you guys supporting Longbridge Pizza. Really, and again, like Paulie said at the beginning of the show today, we're not BSing about this place. This isn't just like because we're partners with them. This is a damn good establishment that makes really good food, and the people that work there are wonderful people. It's very simple. It's
a very simple proposition. Yeah. It's just not a complicated talking point. Tony, great work today, dude. We love you.
Back at you, buddy. Love you too.
All of you guys, you supers, you non-supers. You guys make our day. I'm telling you, I'm not just saying that, 100%. Man. When I log on and I see you lined up before the show even starts, I'm like, God, these guys are freaking great. And you had me laughing today before we even went live. So, Tony, thank you very much, kid. Tomorrow, Dante Whitner joins us, Polymac Particles, Kate Scott on Thursday. Other tricks up our sleeve we're working on. All will be revealed soon enough. Tony, dismiss the class if you could.
Class dismissed.
Yeah, man. Yeah. The more Halen, the better. The more Van Halen, the better. Thank you. See what I mean?
I just like it how it kicks in. And tomorrow, all I'm going to say, Paulie, about tomorrow is that tomorrow's a big day. That's all I'm going to say. Tomorrow's a big day.
Tomorrow's a big day. What are we talking about now? Like in more ways than one?
Yeah, well, not just Dante Whitner and our show related, but in the Polymac particle universe. Tomorrow's a big day with
you know what? It is. It is. That's right. And again, as Robert Plant says in Kashmir, all will be revealed. It will. All will be revealed tomorrow.
Nice.
Dante, the Hitman Whitner, joins us. Call him Hitman if you prefer. Creative Tony, keep the scene clean. All of y'all, enjoy your Monday. We'll see you tomorrow for Roby Tuesday, y'all. Don't forget to tell Dante to wear his robe, Tony, when you talk to him today. No, I'm serious. I want silk. I want all kinds of Moroccan shit. I can't wait.
Also, thank you to Brian Murphy for coming on and making it a Murph and Mac Monday. We love our Murph and Mac Mondays. Thanks.
Love Murph. My brother from another mother. It's you guys believe me. It's like the unspoken thing. Don't think that I don't know how spiritually incorrect it is for Murph and I not to be working together. Believe me, not our choice. You know what I'm saying? Not our choice. Tony, again, is a guy who likes to align himself with big corporations in America. He understands that more than I do. I'm kidding, dude. I'm kidding. Tony's totally anti-corporate everything. He's probably the hippiest kid I know. All right, kids, everybody behave. We'll see you tomorrow on Polymac Particles at 11 a.m. Peace, y'all.